For all the praise that was rightly thrown Max Verstappen's way in his early Formula 1 career, there was always a but attached. He's going to be a great, but he needs the right car. He can win races, but he can also be quite rash. It's unsurprising considering how early Verstappen made the step up to F1. 132 Grand Prix starts, 17 wins, and over 1,000 leading laps later, all at the age of 23, the Dutchman now looks closer than ever to becoming the complete driver the majority of the watching world had tipped him to be. His win on home soil at Zandvoort only affirmed that, as he made the weekend and the championship lead his own. In this video, we'll take a look at Verstappen's progression through his F1 career from precocious talent to eyeing up surpassing Lewis Hamilton as F1's top dog. If you're enjoying the content we've been making so far, feel free to subscribe and turn notifications on to catch every upload. Few doubted Verstappen's ability to make it to the summit of F1. His mother was a highly rated kart racer and his father had over 100 F1 starts to his name by the time of his retirement. You'd be forgiven for thinking he was created in some sort of factory. Red Bull welcomed him to its super productive driver academy at 16, ahead of Mercedes, halfway through his first and only season in European Formula 3. It wasted little time in moving him up the ladder, waiting a matter of days to announce him as Jean-Eric Vergne's successor at sister team Toro Rosso, and handing him his first F1 experience in free practice 1 of the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix, less than a week after his 17th birthday. If anyone else needed proof of his talent, it came in his second full F1 campaign. A rather bemused Carlos Sainz had to look on as Verstappen was chosen as Daniel Kvyat's replacement at Red Bull after just 4 races in 2016. This may have been accelerated to ensure his future with the Austrian team, with Mercedes still keeping a keen eye on him. It proved to be a masterstroke, as he claimed an historic maiden win first time out in Barcelona, profiting from Mercedes' self-induced meltdown and holding off Kimi Raikkonen's continuous advances. At the age of 18, he'd become the youngest ever race winner, a record that will most likely stand the test of time. More records fell by the wayside, even making Sebastian Vettel's extraordinary early F1 career look rather sluggish in comparison. However, there were flaws. By the midway point of 2018, Verstappen's approach was under staunch criticism. A string of incidents in the first few races prompted the media to predict that his hedonistic desire to win could cost him dearly in any championship fight. A spin in Australia, caused by floor damage from an earlier off, meant he had to soldier on off the pace. Hamilton labelled him in earshot of FOM's microphones when re-watching Verstappen running over his front wing in Bahrain, an event that was undoubtedly blown out of all proportion afterwards. In China, he tagged Vettel at the hairpin while trying an almost impossible move, taking both out of any contention for the win. Immediately afterwards, a dubious defence of his position against teammate Daniel Ricciardo in Azerbaijan ended up with both Red Bulls out of the race. Red Bull seemed to side with its younger talent in public, but he faced a different tune behind closed doors. The measured aggression that had got him to a leading team so quickly was now starting to work against him. Bosses Christian Horner and Helmut Marko were not so quick to defend him when he crashed in final practice at Monaco, missing out on a qualifying session he was expected to best. He'd finally reached the point other drivers like Mika Hakkinen and Romain Grosjean had reached, where an introspective look was needed to turn around an unwanted reputation. Flash forward to the present day, and Verstappen says that the aggressive approach is now a thing of the past. Some of his races in the last year may seem to be contradictory to that. Could he have afforded Hamilton a bit more room at Silverstone, considering it was lap 1? That's a question that I'm well aware could start a riot. Verstappen was firm in his belief that he did do no wrong and can't account for times other people drive into him. There's no denying, however, that he's made big improvements in wheel-to-wheel racing. Perhaps his frequent encounters with Hamilton have had more of an effect than first meets the eye. I'm up against a 7-time world champion who has a lot of experience, but nevertheless you try to beat him. When it's not possible, you settle for the best possible result, Verstappen said, speaking to Red Bull before this year's Monaco race, which he won. I know that Hamilton is also very good at knowing how to pick his moments, at knowing when it's not happening but still getting the best possible result out of it. The win or die approach may be the more spectacular, racing's equivalent of Zdenek Zeman's football philosophy, but playing the numbers game is a tried and tested method. Look no further than Hamilton in recent years, or Alain Prost beforehand. With reliability being nigh on bulletproof in F1's modern age, a retirement is a disastrous consequence for rashness. Silverstone's flashpoint came as little surprise. Verstappen and Hamilton have had numerous wheel-to-wheel moments this season, Imola, the Algarve and Barcelona just to name a few, without making serious or any contact. The boundaries seem to be defined, but in a championship as close as 2021's, marks will be overstepped from time to time. It took Hamilton until his mid to late 20s to figure out his balance between commitment and caution, with a number of collisions with old foe Felipe Massa in 2011 blemishing his otherwise stellar combat record. The results are evident, winning half of the decade's available titles and firmly lodging himself in the discussion for being F1's greatest ever driver. With Verstappen learning those harsh lessons earlier on in his career and life, the future looks ominous for the rest of the younger championship hopefuls. Look at Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris and George Russell. Should Red Bull continue its re-establishment as a leading team, or should Verstappen get his next career move correct, the aforementioned names may have to settle for just challenging. With the major technical rule changes coming into the sport for 22, Verstappen cannot afford to pass up on rebuilding his championship lead beyond the current 3-point gap. Mercedes is currently on its worst run of form for 9 years, with just one victory, Hamilton's contentious triumph at Silverstone, in the last 9 races. With Honda leaving the sport and no guarantee on which teams will be strong next year, Verstappen finds himself in a similar situation to Hamilton in 2008. McLaren did not get on top of the 09 rule changes and lost over half a season as a result. The rest of the year could call for grinding out results on typically strong tracks for Mercedes and taking advantage of the world champion's lack of desire to further improve its comparatively weaker W12. A breakthrough championship could complete the 23-year-old's transformation from a stubborn fighter to a near complete driver. For now though, the comparisons with Michael Schumacher and Hamilton still seem a touch premature. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, a like and subscription would be massively appreciated. Until next time, bye bye.